Good morning, or good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you have decided to do this. This is your core session. So we're going to do 15 minutes of core exercises. We're going to warm up a bit first, and at the end we'll do a little stretch as well. So we've got 5 exercises. Now please just take your time doing it and just listen to what I'm saying with the options that I'm going to give you, because there are some options that maybe are better for you if you have a sore back, or some options that are better for you if you can't quite feel it, and we can adjust the move a little bit. So see how you get on. Let's warm up first. Let me get my timer sorted. So all you need is a mat or a comfortable floor, and we can get going together. So let's start. First of all, let's just roll those shoulders forward a few times. Good, and then roll your shoulders back. Open up your chest here and just imagine you're lifting up your chest towards your chin. Good. Now place your hands on your ribs and take a deep breath in and expand your ribs out. Breathe in as long as you can, and when you breathe out, the ribs come in close to the body. Breathe out as far as you can, okay? Keep going with your deep breaths. It's important for us here to take some deep breaths and get this diaphragm moving, because that is the top of your core, and we've also got the pelvic floors at the bottom, so we'll pay attention to them in a minute. Good. One more time. So it might be worth, if ever you're feeling a little bit stressed, put your hands on your ribs and just focus on your breath for a little while. Good. Now think about the lower part of the core. So think of it like a tube, and then the top is the diaphragm, the bottom is your pelvic floor area. And with your pelvic floors, I want you to just squeeze up. So imagine you're just pulling up. So if you're in the middle of a wee, you're just going to stop that. So use those muscles to stop the pee flow and pull up. Pull up as much as you can, and then relax, and then do it again. Squeeze up. Now try not to squeeze your butt cheeks when you do this. It is all about this area under here, so it's like a sling under there. You've got to try and pull it up. And the more you practice that, let go now guys, one more time. The more you practice that, the more normal this becomes, and you'll find that you end up just doing it without thinking about it. Good. Okay, now we're just going to warm up a little bit more. So you can soften your knees here. We're going to roll out, walk out into a plank. And just pause here for a second. Now here I want you to think about the area between your ribs and your hips and squeeze that. Slowly walk back in. So this area here, the squidgy bit between your ribs and your hips, you're going to squeeze as if you're squeezing them together, okay? All the way. Pause here. Now tuck in again here, hold that position, and just bring one knee in towards your elbow and back, and the other one in towards your elbow and back, and then come back in. Slowly roll up, roll your shoulders back. And here, put your hands on your hips, and we're going to tuck the pelvis forward and back. Forward and back, just to free up that lower back a little bit. And here, squeeze the abs a little bit when you bring the pelvis in, okay? Forward and back. Good. Okay, so let's get started. Now the first exercise, guys, is very, very simple. We're just going to squeeze and release. So you lay on your back, have your feet on the floor, and what I want you to do here is squeeze that area again between the ribs and the hips, and then release, okay? So the bell will go any second, and we'll go for it. Okay, let's do 40 seconds of this. So squeeze and release. So you can see my pelvis tilting in a little bit here. Squeeze and release. You can put your hands on your belly to feel those muscles. Squeeze and release. Now let's pull up the pelvic floors first. So squeeze those up, and then squeeze the abs and release. So if you like the physical movement part of it, you'll find that you're tilting your pelvis in, so your lower back is closer to the floor each time you do it. So you squeeze and release. Completely release. Good. Okay, now slide your left leg down. Keep your right knee up. Put your left elbow out to the side. So that's going to be your support. That's going to help you get up here. Raise your right arm up, and you can imagine you're holding a dumbbell or something in that hand, or you can just keep that palm open, it's up to you. But what you're going to do here is rock onto your elbow and sit up like this and back down. So join in with me now when you're comfortable too. Just rock to the side, using this elbow and hand to support you. So this is like doing a crunch, but what we're doing here is we're opening up the chest, we're lifting the arm, we're using these obliques a little bit at the side because your core muscles aren't just those front six-pack ones, and down. Now when you come down, you're going to go nice and slow, slow and steady all the way down to the floor. Gently does it. Come up, reach up with the arm, and back down. Good, and relax. Now use your knee to help you come over. We're going to do slow twist knee tucks now. So plank position on your hands. Now the move here is nice and slow. Straighten out your legs. You bring one knee right up into your opposite elbow and back, and then the other side, okay? Okay, get going with that one. Squeeze. Now if this is too much, being on your hands like this, maybe do a couple and then come back down. If it really is too much, you can come down to your elbows and come up and hold the plank here and focus on that hold. Otherwise though, if you're happy to and you're feeling this, this is one of my favourite core exercises. Squeeze. Because I think with that extra squeeze when the knee comes in, you can really feel your sides. Squeeze and back. Make sure you're breathing, guys, don't hold your breath. Good, right, now on your back. So we're going to do all of those exercises one more time after this, so you'll be more familiar the second round. Don't worry if you're feeling like it's not quite doing anything just yet. You need to get used to them. Right, on your back with your knees up. Now we're going to do leg extensions. So when the bell goes, we're going to extend the right leg away, then in, and then the other. Okay, let's go. So extend. Now if you're not used to this, and you're not quite sure how far you can go, don't go too low. Stay with me, stay quite high. Now I want you to take your focus to this area between the ribs and the hips, and I want you to squeeze. Now, for those of you who like physical touch and like to know what you should be, you know, where your body should be, basically you want to tuck your pelvis in so your lower back is closer to the floor, and then you can try and go a bit lower if you want more of a challenge. Okay? And stop. Now we are going to go back into a plank. Now we're going to go elbows, and I chose elbows just because I thought being on your hands, it might not be so nice for your wrist too often, so but you can be on your hands if you prefer. But otherwise you're going to be in a plank here, and you're going to tap one leg out and then the other leg. So join in if you're happy to on your toes. If you'd rather try on your knees here, it's the same position but you're just down on your knees, and you extend one leg out to the side and then the other. So keep going, guys, whichever one you choose, toes or knees. And I want you to squeeze the belly. Draw your belly button in towards and up towards your lower back. Breathe. Have a rest if you need it. And stop. Right, now we're going to go back and do all of them one more time. Hopefully now, because your body's a little bit warmer, you're feeling them a little bit more, those abs, and you are familiar with what we're going to do. So this first one is just the squeeze and release, okay? So, hands on tummy. Let's go. Pull up those pelvic floors, squeeze the abs, and release. Squeeze. So you hear my voice? And release. Maybe you want to make some noise and feel like you're actually really squeezing there. Squeeze and release. So really you're tilting your pelvis. You're almost like pulling here. Squeeze and release. The trick here is to try and pull up those pelvic floors as well, which is quite hard to do with the tummy squeeze. So don't put pressure on yourself if you're not quite there yet. And release. Good. Right, now we're going to switch sides with that sit-up movement. So this is called a half Turkish get up. So put your left leg up, your left arm up, your right elbow to the side. And this is the one we're going to roll up like this. Now the important thing is to take your chest forwards when you come up, okay? Get ready and go. Come up, shove that chest towards me, guys, and back down. Control on the way down, lift and down. Now if you ever wanted to try this again, I would get it, and you do have like a tin with you, or you've got dumbbells, you can hold the dumbbell in your hand and you'll feel this much more with a weight. But it really is good to try it without a weight just to get that form correct. Control. Nearly there. And relax. Good. Right, now we're going to do those slow twist knee tucks. So hand plank position, twisting your knee to your opposite elbow, giving yourself a big squeeze in the belly area, okay? So spread your fingertips out, hands underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes under. 2, 1, let's go. Twist and back. Twist and back. Now try not to lift your bum up, so you're not in this down dog position with the bum in the air. You need to rock forward a bit here, so shoulders over wrists. This is going to work those arms as well, of course, so you might need a rest every so often. But it doesn't matter, quality guys over quantity for sure. Squeeze. How's that feeling? Squeeze and back. Make sure you pause when that knee's up, okay? So here, pause. And back, and relax, good. Right, now we're going to do leg extensions on the back again. So you're going to have your knees up. Now, if any of you feel like you didn't feel that very much, then please don't go lower with the leg, and this leg goes a bit further away. Then you'll be able to feel it a bit more, okay? Get ready, and go. So that leg goes away and comes in. The whole time, you want to keep that lower back in one position. So don't let it arch up when the leg goes away. If it does, then you've gone too far. You just need to bring it back a little bit. Practice a bit higher and then gradually see if you can go lower. So push that lower back into the floor, using your tummy muscles. And breathe, guys. See if you can straighten that leg on the extension. Good. Right, we've got one more exercise and then we're going to have a little stretch in the front of the body. So this is where we're on our elbows and we do leg taps. So one leg taps out and in and the other leg out and in. Remember, you can do this on your knees or your toes. It's up to you, okay? I'll start on my knees. So you tap, tap. The leg just taps out to the side. Now the plank position, there's so many great core exercises from this position, from just holding it or doing what we're doing and moving our limbs. And the reason is because you've got to use your whole core to hold yourself in that position. So you're parallel to the floor. If you want to try a few on your toes, guys, you can. Are you breathing? Try not to hold your breath. You got 3 seconds. Nearly there. And stop. Good. Now stay with me for a little stretch at the end. Now this is going to stretch your lower back and your front here and get some movement and mobility in your spine as well, which is important when working with the core. So toes close together and toenails on the floor, knees apart, and you're going to just sweep your hands forward. Ignore that bell. And we're going into what's called a child's pose. So arms forward, and maybe you can put your head to the floor. Now if you can't, you can get a cushion under there or put your hands under. Just rock side to side and make sure those thighs are open so you've got room for your belly in between them. And then from here, come up. We're going to come through, so our chest comes through the arms. And we lift up, and this is called a down dog position, up dog position. You can put your feet down or up, it's up to you. Just feel that stretch on the front of the body from your belly upwards. And then go back again. Now you might not be able to get your heels connected to your bottom in that child's pose, but don't worry, you can always have a cushion there if you want to. But again, if you're new to this, you're not going to get everything perfect, and really there is no perfect because you can always do a bit more anyway. Forwards, good. Now you're going to come back and tuck your toes under and slowly walk your hands into your feet, so don't rush this. Really slowly come up. And then here, raise your arms up and lean back. So don't thrust your hips forward, keep those hips where they are, just lean back. So you're stretching out this front, you're working this lower back because your spine is supposed to go back as well as forwards. Good, and then let's just do a couple to the side, sweep down the side and the other side, and again. So do save this video if you want to work a bit more on your core, especially just that first exercise where we just did the squeeze and the release, just to get used to that movement, and remember to pay attention to your pelvic floors and pull those up too. Please let me know how you found that in the comments below, and I will see you next time.